Hello, my name is Celeste and I go by Spirit of a Warrior. And this is a mini class that is titled Confidence in Your Life Path. And it combines several different things, journaling prompts. If you feel led to get out your journal and follow along, that's great. Also guided meditation and art tools. Thanks for joining me. Let's get started. If I can manage to make this thing go ahead. There we go. Okay, so our first art tool. I drew this little thing just showing up for my life path, and I thought, well, I guess that's what I can do for today, but it ended up being an important piece for this class, and I'm just so grateful the things that can happen with our efforts. So this is called foundational rock. The black in this geometry, in this case, represents stability, strength, and power. It's the base. Everything else is built on it. Okay, so we're going to work with this image for a while here. If you choose to, go ahead and get out your journal and write down what is your foundation. Ask yourself that question. For me, it is Jesus Christ. It could be your higher power. Just think about what is that foundation that everything in your life is built on. Okay, you can pause here if you like or follow along. We are going to move on here. Okay, so next, journal about what are recent miracles that have happened for you. What are the great things that are going on in your life? There's got to be something that can open you up to see the miracles and to have gratitude that you're feeling in your heart. And that gratitude and trust in our higher power will open us up to inspiration, I feel. So pause here once again if you need to. I discovered when I did this that there were several great things going on that I hadn't really realized were miracles in my life. So that was amazing. Okay, we're going to move on. So here is one of our little guided meditations. So just breathe here for a minute. Close your eyes if you need to. Center yourself. So my guided meditations are imagery that you see in your mind. So we do have our art tool, which is a literal visual, but we'll have an imagined one too. So imagine opening up an old scroll that has been meant just for you from the beginning of time. It has your name on it and everything. As you open it up, there are many things written on this scroll. There are so many wonderful things that you're meant to do in this life. And there may be several things written there that your attention is drawn to. But pay attention if there is one that stands out among the others, one that's meant to be a focus at the present, and see which words stand out to you at this time. Take as much time as you need with this. You can pause here if you would like to. I'm going to move on to our next slide. Okay, journaling prompt about walking forward. Okay, so from our mini guided meditation, once again, take as much time as you need with that. Um, write down what are you going to focus on walking forward with at this time? Many of the things that come up in our life path, like we don't have to consciously plan for, but there may be something that you can focus on more at this time and that you can use to grow your faith and confidence with. So that is what you're going to be writing down. Here is our next art tool. Once again, a very simple little thing I drew, and it ended up being a powerful little thing for our class today. I am so grateful. This one is called Receptacle of Tension. So let this vessel here, this vase, act as a visual for you. Those things that are no longer serving you, you can imagine them going in and this vessel just like transmuting them. To me, these swirls look a little bit like a fire. So imagine that they are transmuting them for you. You don't have to carry them anymore. Okay. So our next journal prompt it is decide. Move my head here. Okay. Do you want to feel a stronger desire to follow God's path for you? You can decide to feel that. I know. You can ask to be blessed with that. I think that's so amazing. But just take a minute right now to think about that and to write that intention or prayer down in your journal if you feel led to do that right now. Okay, the next step here is to intend to follow the inspiration you receive for this walking forward that you'll be doing. So this thing that you feel inspired to move forward with, make it a priority to follow the inspiration that you receive and make space in your life for walking forward with this inspiration and something to make a practice in your life. Check to see how things feel in your body. Okay, just pause here if you need to and take note or write down these things if you find them helpful. Okay, we are going to move on here. Okay, a little guided meditation, once again with our vessel art tool, but we'll use an imagined image as well. Okay, so in my mind, I was thinking about a traveler, somebody maybe from medieval era. She's got a wooden cart. Imagine this traveler packing her bag. It's not a long trip she's going on, but she would like to feel prepared and to be able to keep her goods safe that she'll be selling at the market. Imagine her filling her bag with all the usual things that she takes, and then she feels led to grab like five more items that she would normally never take with her. Some panic is coming up for her because, she has to physically push this cart and physically carry all her stuff. And she's just saying, "Oh, this is too much. I can't do that," she says. Okay. Can you feel that panic coming up for you? You don't have to feel it long. We're moving on. Okay. So take a moment to not only feel that, but to breathe it out. Okay. You can tap along with me if you like. Breathe out the panic. Big breaths out. Let's do two more. Okay, now breathe out. It is too much. I never can do this. Two more big breaths on that. It is too much. I can never do this. Okay, does that feel better? Feel a little more calm? Imagine our traveler packing those five items, putting her bag on her back, pushing her cart, and going on her way. She runs into different troubles on her journey, and each of those five items make her way so much more smooth, make it possible for her to get to the market and sell her goods. And it is a miracle in her life. Imagine her thinking, everything is working out for me. Imagine that calm she feels, that confidence that she is being led. Breathe that in. Breathe it in again. Let's breathe it in two more times. I'm shaking out some resistance with my other hand. I know that looks strange, but let's let go of that resistance. Imagine that going in the vessel. Okay, breathe it in. Okay, that feels great. If you want to spend more time with this, go ahead. I am going to move on to the next slide though. You can pause here if you need. Okay, growing in alignment. So following our path is actually a process of growth. It's not just a linear thing that you just make the steps and do. It means doing the inspired things. It means growing in a stronger belief. And these two things are actually cause and effect. So doing the things allows becoming. And so the doing of the inspired things leads to growth in belief and confidence. You do the inspired things, you see the miracles, you grow in that belief and that confidence. Okay, awesome. That has been my experience, and I love being able to share that with you. Okay, so here's another journaling prompt about making space. Okay, so something that I've learned in my journey, making space in your life for the things you feel inspired to do, that is super important, and it can often start with just like writing it down. This is a thing that I want to do. Here's some ideas on how I can make space for that. And don't be afraid to ask for inspiration. Do this with your higher power. Do this with God. Okay? Ask for inspiration on the steps that you get to take. Write down the things. Do the things you feel inspired to do, that you feel led to do. And this might include making goals. I know not everybody is into making goals, but I have found this very helpful. And the next slide includes my tips for making goals, things I found helpful for me. And you can pause here if you need more time with this journaling prompt. Okay, but I'm going to move to the next slide here. Okay, so making goals for the doing of the things, making space for these things we're moving forward with. Okay, so for me, working towards my goals looks like literally using a timer and a calendar to hold myself accountable, so to speak, make me aware of how much time I'm spending in my studio. Because God's path for me that I'm focusing on right now, besides, the other important things I do, such as my family, are doing art. It is doing art. And so spending time in my studio is very important. Tracking it and being aware is important for me um, to make space for it. So don't be afraid to make goals and make them trackable. Just saying, oh, I want to do more of this. Great. Make a goal, make a amount of time you want to shoot for. Don't beat yourself up if you're not making your goal. Okay. Try to make it attainable and challenging. Sometimes you may get there and make your goal. Sometimes you might not. But always ask for blessings on your work. Ask for guidance, inspiration as you work, and give gratitude for the things that you are able to accomplish. I just feel like those things are going to help you out. So here's my list of um, goal making tips. Okay, and here are our tools. I received inspiration for this class when I was sitting in a religious meeting and I listened to the speakers. They were giving sermons, and I didn't write down what they said, but some of the words they said were so inspiring because I had this question, how do I gain confidence in my life path? And I was inspired with the answer to that question, which I have shared with you here. And these are art tools that I was inspired to share with you. So thank you so much for joining me. I am very passionate about this subject, and I am so glad I was able to share this with you. And I hope that you have found it so helpful. Have a most excellent day. I wish for blessings upon all the things that you are working on, and I'll see you next time.